What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dissect That Film, where we dissect your favorite films, film franchises, and eventually TV. I am one of your hosts, Brett Parker, and joining me are the other hosts of this future best podcast ever. Are the amazing Dan and Aradella. Welcome back.
Hello, good sir. Thank you for having us. Hello, everyone.
Always a pleasure. I gotta figure out a better intro. Like when I'm introducing you guys, it's because you guys are a permanent part of the show, so I gotta come up with something better. I feel like I'm just trying too hard. It doesn't sound good.
No, it's fine. You'll get it, man. It's gonna come naturally,
right?
Not that good.
What?
It's not that good.
Well, he had crap on him, dude. It's his show. He invites us on.
No, I'm talking about us, not him.
Oh, today we are discussing the second film in the Jurassic Park saga, or we'll call this the Jurassic Park trilogy, because we go from Jurassic Park to Jurassic World after Jurassic Park 3. So this is the second film in the Jurassic Park trilogy. Again, this was directed by the amazing Steven Spielberg, who was very adamant to direct this film when it was pretty much pressured on, the pressure was put on him to direct this movie or to get another Jurassic Park out, since the first one made so much money. You know how this works. Joe Johnston, who directed Jurassic Park 3, actually wanted to direct this one, but Steven wanted to direct this. And Joe Johnston was actually in post-production for Jumanji. And I guess he was having issues with that, so he wasn't able to do it. But because Steven Spielberg was like, no, I'm going to do this one, but 3 is all yours. And so that's why we got him for Jurassic Park 3.
I cannot wait till we talk about Jurassic Park 3.
Yes.
Talk about a dumpster fire of a movie.
We'll get to that.
Like it.
This movie was released May 23rd, 1997, almost 4 years after Jurassic Park.
It's a good time, good gap. It's not too soon.
No, 40 years. I think that's good. You don't want to come out. You don't want to be like Transformers, okay? Where it's like every 2 years and we're just getting the same thing but worse. This was again based off of, when I say based, for all my audio listeners, I have this in air quotes, but for all the people watching this on YouTube, this was based on Michael Crichton's sequel novel, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. But this movie really doesn't do much of adapting the book. It kind of ventures off big time. So Michael Crichton pretty much was asked by Steven Spielberg to write another novel. Steven Spielberg influenced Michael Crichton to write the second novel. So Crichton wrote the book. Steven took it and they gave it to the writers to be like, adapt this book into the next movie, and they barely did it. They just created their own thing, sprinkling in pieces of parts of the original Jurassic Park novel and The Lost World.
So it's like the Resident Evil movie franchise.
Exactly.
But good.
It's unfortunate. And now I just say I don't need to read Jurassic Park. I want to read The Lost World. I really want to see the differences. And I know Dan is going to speak of those differences. No, I'm going to. Listen, I got that beautiful book back there, and someday I'm going to actually open it and read the pages inside.
You got to do both, the twosies.
Yeah, it's a double. It's got both Jurassic Park and Lost World. Here, let me bring it up close for all the YouTube's people.
Oh, he's got pants on. Thank goodness.
What if it's not pants? What if it's just tits?
So it's a beautiful hardcover. It's got gold.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Barnes & Noble had a bunch of different novels with these really cool covers. And there's no way. Look, it even has, it's so cool. It's one of probably the nicest books I own. And the font is nice and big for, I when I first bought, I have another copy of Jurassic Park and The Lost World in soft cover.
Yeah, I got those.
And they're small, so the words are tiny. And I'm like, I'm getting older. Okay, my eyesight's still pretty good, but this is perfect for me. The font's just the right size. Okay,
that's right, dude. For our old man eyes, I understand, dude. What fell over?
My collector's edition DVD of Jurassic Park.
I remember that. I used to have that one. Yeah.
This was released in 2000, so this is a oldie. That's a 21-year-old DVD. Look at that. Look at that.
I should have brought a couple of my rebores. That'd been cool.
I own this movie probably in 3 different ways. I have the Jurassic Park Ultimate Trilogy on Blu-ray, and then I bought another one. I have the digital ones too. So much.
Yeah, I've got the Ultimate Trilogy as well. That's what we watched. And I'm just, like I said, just waiting for the 4K release of all of them after the next movie comes out, and just do it that way.
Exactly. You got it. Yeah, this movie was released 4 years after the original. It clocked in at 2 hours and 9 minutes, so it was only a few minutes longer than the original. John Williams returned to score the film.
It doesn't feel it though. It doesn't feel it. Like it feels it like. But again, I'll get into it. We talk about. I have an admiration for this film, but it's just like the first one. It's got a good flow. Like it just goes.
The budget on this film was $73 million, so $10 million. So I have to correct the number from the last episode. It wasn't 65, it was 63. Estimated. It's always an estimate.
God.
I got excited when I saw the number. Whatever.
That's cool.
I'm fixing my mistake here. This one had a budget of $73 million, which is $10 million more than Jurassic Park. And the box office came in at about $618.6 million. So about 300 mil less than what Jurassic Park brought in, but it's a sequel.
And it's still a good chunk of change,
and that's a lot of money for a sequel. This movie, when it comes to the fans of this movie, it is very torn in half. You have people who love this movie, like me and Dan and Ara. Ara, do you like this film?
No.
I did.
All right. So, and then there are people who hate this film, and they put it on like when you rank Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World movies together, a lot of people have this on the bottom. Like this and Jurassic Park 3, a lot of people have that on the bottom of their lists.
That's like those people and like flat earthers.
Yeah.
It's like the same. God,
I used to work with a
people.
guy who hated this. The third one was actually his favorite.
Oh my God. What? No, it's like the black. It's like, what negative reality is he from?
This. Listen, Jurassic Park 3, which we will get to in the next episode. I have my great memories of that movie, but yes, that movie is not very good. But we will get into detail about our dislikes of that movie in the next episode.
Parker's just giving you the tip right now.
Yes. We got to do that.
I love you, wife.
Oh,
it's
man.
All for your reaction,
So
I
good.
promise.
It earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Visual Effects, which is awesome. They are so...
Oh, your video has exploded, Parker.
Did it?
There it goes. We're good.
Did it?
Yeah, we're good now.
As long as my side recording is fine, it's okay.
Yeah,
as long as I can still hear you, even if the camera freezes. Listen, well, I'm not putting out some high quality like visuals here for people who are watching it on YouTube. Like you just got to deal with it, okay? I don't have lots of money. Someday I'll get a nicer camera, but it's when you don't live in the same town and you can't do the podcast in the same room. This is what you get. All right, we got to do this over Discord.
Right? Well, I mean, they get what they pay for.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Anyway, go ahead.
It became the highest grossing film opening weekend, and it held that record until Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out in 2001.
Oh, that's a pretty good run. 4 years,
which is pretty crazy because this is the same year that Titanic came out. So of course, this is why it was the second highest grossing film in 1997 because Titanic was number one.
This is the better boat movie, though. It has a boat.
Isn't that crazy, though, that this is the same year Titanic came out, and Titanic shattered every record ever. And Jurassic Park Lost World was still able to pull in almost $700 million.
Right?
That's insane.
That's against a tough competition.
Dan, since this is you love this movie. What is the tagline for this film?
I don't know. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, hold on. Give me a minute. I don't remember. I really don't.
Something has survived.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. But that doesn't make any sense. It's like implying something died.
I think it's more of a fact. Like, so taglines are created before the film is released. So because people didn't know what the plot was, and that, oh, guess what? We're not on the same island as Jurassic Park. It was a good way of, oh my God, more dinosaurs.
Yes, yeah. Actually, I didn't know. I didn't even realize that was the tagline. I love this movie. I had no idea it was the tagline at all. This is actually the one Jurassic Park film I did not see in theaters.
I was 5 when this came out, and I remember watching it at my grandma's. She had it on VHS. Like I said in the last episode, she had an awesome like little card thing that came with it. And my grandma bought like new movies would come out. I saw movies as a kid that I shouldn't have seen as a kid. Like I watched Gladiator when I was like 7.
Oh
no, that's not true because Gladiator came out in 2000, so I would have been 9. So she and my grandma, we're going off on a tangent here. If you have ever listened,
I started high school in 2000.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
If you've ever listened to the show, there's times where we don't talk about the movie we're actually here to review. We just go off on something, but we're going to talk about Gladiator real quick. My grandma had a Gladiator VHS signed by Russell Crowe.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's where I started. That was the movie that made me appreciate Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, he's fantastic.
Oh, he's so good. He's so good.
Ridley Scott. Well, someday we'll talk more about Gladiator. Love it. Jeff Goldblum is back as Dr. Ian Malcolm. Julianne Moore is in this. I love her. She is I mean, I don't know if I've seen a movie where I'm like, man, Julianne Moore, not very good. No, I think this is the same year that Boogie Nights came out, which is crazy. Pete, and one of the best actors in this movie is Pete Postlethwaite, who plays the big game hunter, the guy who hunts the T-Rex.
We just talked about
Roland. Yes.
Yep. Roland is awesome.
And then Arliss Howard playing the just scummy. What was his name? He's the nephew.
Yes.
Ludlow.
Peter Ludlow.
Yes.
Penis Ludlow.
He's the worst. Let's see. We got some trivia here. Thank you, IMDb.
Richard Schiff in it.
And this was the first movie I remember seeing. What's his name in? Played Nick Van Owen.
Oh, Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Yes, first movie I remember seeing him in was this one.
So since we're talking about Vince Vaughn, director Steven Spielberg had to attend an early screening of Swingers, which came out the year before, in order to give approval for the use of the Jaws theme in the movie.
Really?
And he was so impressed with Vince Vaughn that he offered him a part in the movie.
Nice. GG. He was Van Owen. The Nick Van Owen.
Yeah, because Swingers is...
Van Owen.
Mm-hmm. Swingers was the movie that kind of put Vince Vaughn like out there. Him and Jon Favreau. Because they were in that together.
Yep.
Yeah. Julianne Moore admitted that she did this movie to pay off a divorce settlement, and she wanted to work with Steven Spielberg. So, hey.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Exactly. Steven Spielberg took a rare sabbatical after having 2 hits in the same year with Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, and he didn't return to directing until this movie.
Good for him. He didn't need to. He had too much bank. What am I going to do with all this money?
I completely forgot that both Jurassic Park and Schindler's List came out in 93. I thought it was Jurassic Park in 93 and then Schindler's List the next year. But no, they came out the same year, which is great. And they were both box office, like they just destroyed the box office. Steven Spielberg owned 1993.
It was his year.
And it's crazy because those 2 movies are completely vast. You couldn't even
vast,
you wouldn't even know. Like if you didn't look into it, there's no way you would have been like, man, that definitely was a Steven Spielberg movie. Like either one.
Yeah.
Like you go from Jurassic Park to it's wild. Schindler's List, I recommend that too. Fantastic film.
I've never seen it.
Definitely.
It's kind of a slow crawl, but man, Liam Neeson, Ray Fiennes.
I know what it's about.
Black and white.
There you go.
Love that look.
Artsy, baby.
Jeff Goldblum received a W163, which was the model of the Mercedes that they drive.
Yep.
As a result of the tie-in, and as of 2011, he was still using it as his personal vehicle.
Good.
Got some miles on it.
That's right.
In the early drafts of the script, Lex and Tim were kept for much longer. Even had the kids going back to the park and encountering the dinosaurs again.
Ooh, that would have been interesting.
Right? So yeah, we talked about Joe Johnston wanting to direct it, but he eventually got JP3, which boy, oh boy, can't wait to talk more about that. So one of the writers of the, I don't remember what the writer's name was, but one of the writers, he got a note that somebody had pinned onto his desk that pretty much stated, this one needs more. Like it was more of like, I don't want to wait as long to see a dinosaur in this one.
Yeah.
And so Steven Spielberg, pretty much when there's like 50% more dinosaurs in this movie than in the original Jurassic Park.
That's a good thing. I like dinosaurs.
I do too, but maybe because I'm, Jaws is being my favorite movie, and the way that Jaws didn't show you the creature for so long.
Or the original Jurassic Park.
Or the original Jurassic Park. Yeah, exactly. I love that, you don't get it. You get a glimpse here and there. What
are we pointing at?
Oh, I thought it was something crawling around.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's just the ghost.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, man. Gary Oldman was offered the role of Peter Ludlow, but it turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. Oh, imagine that.
He would have been great.
Imagine that. Well, that would have been fantastic.
I have to tell my buddy that. He loves Gary Oldman.
Oh, that would have been fantastic. I would have loved it. The great thing is you notice like when the bus crashes at the movie store in the scene where the T-Rex is in the city, and they have all it's actual movies that certain actors were in. It was like Robin Williams and Jack and the Banestocks, but it was supposed to be Jack, which was a Francis Ford Coppola movie that he was in.
Yeah. And there was it King Lear?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. and what was the last one?
Hanks was in
Tom Hanks was in Tsunami Sunrise.
That's it.
The five. So as you may know, this movie takes place on a different island than in Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park took place on Isla Nublar, which will make a return in later movies, but this one takes place on Isla Sorna, which is Site B. There are 5 islands in the Los Cinco Muertes, which is Isla. I'm sorry. I apologize for messing these up, but I'm not good at Spanish.
People are preparing to cast their stones.
Yep. Isla Matanceros, Isla Muerta, Isla Sorna, Isla Tacano, and Isla Peña. Isla Nublar, not actually part of that island chain.
Really?
Yep. And if you ever play the Jurassic World Evolution game, which is kind of like Zoo Tycoon, but Jurassic Park.
Yep.
They actually, I don't know if it was on purpose, but when you can actually make parks on every single island. And that one is in Isla Nublar is like on its own thing where every other island is kind of together. So I don't know if that was a subtle thing that people maybe picked up on.
No, I didn't. I completely missed that.
So, wow. So as of 2016, which actually this trivia fact would not make sense now because actually no, never mind. As of 2016, this is the only sequel that Steven Spielberg has done that is not related to the Indiana Jones series. So
another one we haven't watched.
So before we get to the plot, what did we think of The Lost World Jurassic Park?
I liked it. Not as much as the first one, but it was definitely. But I liked it. Just stop.
I'm not doing anything. Anyway,
Yes, you are.
this is what it's like to be married, folks.
Yes,
You do
for
nothing
anyone
and
who's
are
listening,
persecuted for it.
they are Dan, and if you're just a listener to this show, Dan and Ara are husband and wife, so they live together, and so they're messing with each other. I'm all by myself over here.
Right?
I can't.
Well, you just gotta get your wife in here, dude.
Yeah, she's very, very pregnant and just wants to
Kill everything.
She wants. Everyone. She's waiting for this to be over.
Okay, fair enough. Are you done? I don't want to interrupt you if you got more to say. Okay.
Dan?
That seemed really judgmental. Anyway, I adore this movie. I love it. It's actually, I love the first one. Again, totally separate thing, but this is a personal favorite of mine. I've seen this one more probably than I have the original Jurassic Park. As I said when I was little, this is the only one I didn't see in theaters. I have no idea how I missed this. All I remember was I was younger, I'd get Jurassic Park toys. And I remember seeing Lost World toys and then not realizing, because they had a few spin-off Jurassic Park toys before they did like a sequel movie.
Right.
And like I just thought it was another spin-off. Had no clue. I have no idea. I had no idea this was a thing until we were at my grandparents and my grandma was watching Jurassic Park on Lost World Jurassic Park on VHS. I was like, how the heck did I miss this? So that my experience is entirely off the big screen, which is weird. Again, as it being my favorite. It's got a lot of my favorite characters. A lot more dino action. It's much less scary of a movie. I will say suspenseful.
Right. It's a lot more action packed.
Yes, but I love it 100%. I also say 10 out of 10, even though it's really not as good as the original. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I love this movie. I think as much as I will say my negative thoughts on JP3 next week, the original trilogy of Jurassic Park films, I've seen them all so many times, and even though certain ones have flaws, like listen, Jurassic Park had its flaws. This definitely has flaws, and then JP3 has got a lot of flaws. But for some reason, I still enjoy watching them all. Like if Jurassic Park 3 is on the TV, I'm probably gonna sit there and watch it because I don't care. It's always a good time, as long as it entertains me, even if it's bad. Are you not entertained? Back to the Gladiator. Back to Gladiator. Yeah, exactly. It just comes right back around. But yeah, I love this film. I love Jeff Goldblum. I love the supporting cast, even though I hate that they like just disappear in the second half of the movie. Or the part where they go to San Diego. I don't like that. Like Nick Van Owen. This is, to be honest, I love Vince Vaughn in this role. Like the fact that he still has some comedic chops. You know, he's still throwing some funny lines here and there, but this isn't a comedy, and he's taking this job very seriously, and he's a very smart guy. And I think he blends well with everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Julianne Moore, I talked about her before. She's fantastic. And the guy who played Eddie, I like him too. Eddie Carr.
Yeah.
Eddie Carr is so good.
A character who I was actually sad about when he gets whacked in this one. But probably the coolest death when it comes to the dinosaurs in this movie was from Eddie. R.I.P. Eddie. The actor's still alive. I'm just talking about the character.
I love him.
Yes.
Well, I love him more because he's in The Good Doctor.
Yes.
And I love that show. And I was like, wait a minute. He looks familiar.
Yep. It's because he's very gray now.
Yes,
so he looks vastly different. Gray. It's just like Jeff Goldblum. You know, he's a very gray man, but he's still a very attractive man. Yep, I said it. I don't care. All right, here we go. Are we ready for the plot?
My body is ready.
Plot. So this movie opens with the really cool, like the pretty similar to the opening of Jurassic Park, where you get the kind of the drums and everything with the title card, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. We open on an island. Does it say it's Isla Sorna in this opening scene?
I don't think it does. Does it? Do you have a note? I don't think it does.
I don't believe so, but anybody in the comments want to drop that and tell me if they If it did, I don't remember. So we open it up on an island, and there's a beautiful yacht docked on the beach, and we have a rich British family just camping out, just having a good time, picnicking on this island. They have no idea where they are. Either they know where they are and they're just like, cool, we're gonna vacation on this dino island, or they're just completely oblivious.
I don't think they knew. I think they're just like, oh, here's a nice looking island. Let's just.
Ooh, this sand is pretty. Let's stop.
Yeah.
Here.
We've got money. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Their young daughter ventures away with her food. She is played by Camilla Bell. Camilla Bell was in the When a Stranger Calls remake from like early 2000s. It was a remake of a horror movie. She's been in other things too. I think she's also a model.
Okay, that's fair.
She was in 10,000 BC, Practical Magic Push, which had Chris Evans in it.
Oh, she was in Practical Magic.
Oh, you would like that.
I do like that movie. Rude.
So that's who that is. And we move on. She ventures out with her food, and she encounters a compy. Is it pronounced Compsognathus?
It's Compsognathus.
Okay. I'm just going to call it a compy. That's what they all say in these movies, because let's not keep repeating this name.
There's a fun fact about the name, because I love doing this. So in the later in the movie, this is not spoil anything. Later in the movie, what's his name? What's his name in this movie? It's not Balker, because that's what it's based on. It's something else they call him. The paleontologist.
Burke.
That's Burke. Yes, Burke. It's based on Balker.
Oh.
But anyway, real guy.
Because you told
appearance,
me.
everything. But anyway, he refers to the compy later as Compsognathus triassicus. It's not what it really is in real life. It's actually an homage, because real compies are Compsognathus longipes, and then there's a Procompsognathus, which is a different animal, triassicus. They blended those two animals together to get the one on screen. They just borrowed both parts of the name. Ridiculous paleobiology fact, but I just figured it's worth mentioning.
So compies make their first appearance in this movie, and they make an appearance, I think, in every movie after 2. Like they made their first appearance in the beginning of this, and I think they show up in Jurassic Park 3. I know they show up in Jurassic World, and I think Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is the only one I don't remember if they showed up in.
They're also in the original novel.
I don't know. I like I said, I have never read all of Jurassic Park, and it's been a long time since I even read half of that book. So, and I never touched Lost World. So,
well, once we get done with this beginning scene, I've got something about that as well.
Okay. So. The daughter wanders off. She runs into a compy, and it's just one. So she's like, "Oh, it's cute. I'm gonna feed you some food." So she feeds it food, and what happens? Oh, they just swarm. And she is trying to get away. She's pretty much trying to give away all of her food, but the compies are not after the food she's holding. They want her. And you get the shot where it's on the parents. They hear her scream. They all run, and then you get the scene of the mother screaming, and then it turns and it immediately switches over to Jeff Goldblum yawning.
And because Jeff Goldblum was actually eating their daughter.
Yeah.
That's what was happening. But it's a fun fact about the original novel. The original novel starts with somewhere in Central or South America. Rumors of people getting attacked by reptiles. And it's actually what happens is compies are actually getting off the island on boats in the original book. And compies attack villagers. One of them, there's a scene where they refer, a very ghastly scene where they refer to one eating an infant child in the novel, and then this scene with the little girl is actually in the original Jurassic Park novel.
Wow.
And reused in this film.
So we then go to, it's Ian Malcolm. Sorry, I could try to use their character names, not their actor names. I like the cut though, where it's the mother screaming frantically, and then it turns to him yawning, waiting for a train. He hops on the train. He's sitting there, and then he got some weirdo who notices who he is. Yeah.
The guy, it's like, you're the guy.
You're the dino.
Yes.
This guy sucks. Get out of here, dude. And he's talking to, he was just having a stupid conversation pretty much. You're the dinosaur guy, right? Like we heard what happened. I know what happened type deal. And then we then cut to Malcolm knocking on the door to a mansion. He gets the butler, answers the door. And the butler, I believe, this is the same guy who was in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Is it really?
I believe he was in that.
And no one
couldn't tell you
like
what his character's name was, and I don't know his character's name in this movie. All I know is that he is John Hammond's butler. This is John Hammond's mansion. Malcolm is pretty much, is coming to see Hammond, and he runs into Tim and Lex, and they are a lot bigger now. It has been 4 years since everything that happened at the park. I like how they kept the time frame, the actual time between the first movie and this, which I love that. And they have a conversation. I guess Malcolm and the kids he's like an uncle now, the way that they act around him. But then we meet Hammond's douchey nephew, Peter Ludlow. He is the CEO. He's the appointed CEO of InGen because John Hammond, after the events of Jurassic Park, pretty much was yoinked out of InGen. Well, not really completely, but he pretty much had to step down as the CEO. Ludlow is having to deal with all of pretty much the aftermath of Jurassic Park. And Malcolm is pissed because at first he lied about how many people died on the island. He said it was only 3, but it was actually 4. And then, they have their thing about, because Malcolm had to sign an NDA that he wouldn't go yapping about everything that happened. He can't write about it. He pretty much has to ignore anything that whole event that never happened.
Yeah.
He goes up, they have their thing. Then Malcolm meets with Hammond, and Hammond is back on his freaking train of being a psychopath. He's like, there's another island. And he's like, what? Another island? He's like, yeah, we pretty much made this island as the breeding ground for all the dinosaurs. And what we would do is we would just go to the island, we'd pick them out, and we would throw them we were going to take those dinosaurs and we put them on in the park. That was where everything was. And then in later films, there's another dinosaur that shows up that you go, where the fuck this guy come from? And why wasn't he in this movie?
This wasn't on InGen's list.
Oh,
they
God.
Explain that.
We'll
explain that.
We'll get to it. But it still confuses the shit out of me. He talks about how they want to pretty much go and study the dinosaurs on the island. And he wants to, he's got a team going. And he's like, well, I'm not doing it. I'm not going back. I'm not doing any of this anymore.
Yep.
And he's like, well, how about I tell you that your girlfriend's there? And he's like, what? Sarah's there? And he's like, yeah, sorry, I probably should have told you, but I didn't because I knew you wouldn't go unless I told you she was there. And she is there. God, Hammond sucks. I love Richard Attenborough and he plays this role so well, but man, Hammond sucks.
Yeah.
He is
Is what he is.
He's not even like he's like a sickly old man now, and he's still he's insane.
Capitalist and naturalist in just 4 years.
Yep.
So pretty much what we were talking about, what we were talking about before with Ludlow, he pretty much used the incident on Jurassic Park to overthrow his uncle. Like,
lastly, it was lastly the they said in the movie that it was when the little girl was attacked by the compies on the island.
Yeah.
That's when they ultimately okay, you're done, Hammond.
Yeah,
we're taking over.
That's true.
So so InGen has cloning sites on all of the different islands, but you don't ever hear about any of the other ones other than Nublar and Sorna. Sorna was the breeding ground, like we had stated before. They had cloned the dinosaurs there, and then when the hurricane hit in Jurassic Park, it also hit the other island, which then they had to free all the dinosaurs. So that's why the dinosaurs are running around in this movie.
Yeah, of course.
Ludlow, he wants to exploit the island's creatures. He wants to pretty much save InGen because they are going bankrupt because they had to pay a lot of money for all the dead people.
Liability.
Yeah.
But I don't know if does Hammond know that Ludlow is doing this?
He knows something's up because he tries to get him there first.
Right. But he doesn't tell anybody on the team that that's what's going on, that there's something going on. He just pretty much is like, we want you to document the dinosaurs in their natural habitat, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, we want you to go there and try to stop Ludlow from doing whatever he's going to do, which is stealing the dinosaurs.
Job. That's what he said. Nick later says, hey, Hammond thought this might happen. He thought we'd get out before they'd get here. But if not, he sent me blah, 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 that whole thing.
Had a backup plan.
It was the backup. Yeah, had a backup plan.
It was the backup.
What backup plan? On the backup plan. Yeah.
But backing up to when Malcolm and Ludlow are talking, if you don't know he's an asshole, you do when he makes the comment, this suit costs more than your education.
Yeah. He is a piece of shit. And
he is.
Arliss Howard, who plays him, does a very good job of being an asshole.
Yeah, he does.
So since hearing that Sarah is there, Ian's got to go. And so he meets up with Eddie Carr, who is an equipment specialist, and we meet engineer Nick Van Owen, who is played by Vince Vaughn. He's also, Eddie Carr is an equipment specialist and engineer. Nick Van Owen is a video documentarian and activist.
Yes.
We also meet Malcolm's daughter, Kelly, who I believe from what I read is that in the book, she was not Malcolm's daughter. She was just a girl that she was meeting another doctor. It was like her idol with a friend. And so there was Kelly and her friend. I don't remember what her friend's name was, but Kelly was white and the friend was black. That really makes a difference. But Kelly in the movie is black. And and then these two characters are going to meet a doctor who's not even in the movie. Like he was just in the book. So Kelly and Malcolm, they have a really awkward interaction with each other because pretty much Malcolm is a non-existent father. He's not really around for Kelly. And I guess Kelly was a really good gymnast and she stopped doing it because what's the point? I don't enjoy it because I feel like no one's there for me.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I gotta go. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going, but I got to go. And that's the end of that.
Yep.
We go on the boat heading towards Isla Sorna. And the boat captain is like, this is as far as I go, because that is the Devil Island, which I love that. I love where the guy's speaking Spanish to Nick. And he's like, yeah, this is is that what he calls it? The Devil Island?
Yeah. Los Cinco Muertos.
Yeah.
And Nick's like, huh?
Los Cinco Muertos.
Yes. But Nick's like, Cinco Muertos. Yeah. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Oh, yeah, the five deaths. We get to the islands, and they are venturing through. We got Nick, Eddie, and Ian are venturing through this thick jungle, which is crazy that they're just nonchalantly walking through a jungle where there's dinosaurs. Like, we don't know what dinosaurs are around.
Sarah.
Well, they do have a good idea. Based on I'm sure they have the.
Oh, that's right. They have a map of the territories of where every dinosaur. Right. Okay. So scratch what I just said.
Well, there could be some, but you're still not wrong because predatory dinosaurs would have to overlap into other dinosaurs' territory to hunt. Yeah. Those dinosaurs would know the predatory dinosaurs' domain. You're probably smart enough to stay out.
Yeah. So as they're venturing around, Nick is taking pictures, and that's when Sarah sneaks up behind him and scares the shit out of him.
Sarah, how many Sarahs do you think are on this island?
Yeah, I love that. They're both calling for Sarah, and Nick calls for Sarah Harding, and he's like, yeah, what? How many Sarahs do you think are on this island? Oh, so great. And
I was quoting this movie a lot. I'm sorry. I love this movie. The quotes from this movie are so great, dude. So
we meet Sarah, played by Julianne Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Is she related to the Dr. Harding from the first movie? Nobody knows. She then she tells Ian pretty much like, listen, dude, like I'm an adult. I can do what I want. Like, I don't need you to protect me. I'm a big girl. And that's when Ian's like, yeah, maybe not so much. Ian's kind of a dick. They get to, they run into a herd of stegosauruses, and she is pretty much there to take pictures and to document them and see how they interact. And guess what? There's a baby. And I love it when she's going to go up, and he's like, no, don't go up there. And then she's got to touch. She's got to touch. Like, what? You got to touch.
She can't not touch.
And it's great. You get the practical effects, You get the amazing work by Stan Winston on the baby stego. So good. And I love the calls. Like it's like moos. She takes a picture and guess what? It's 1997. So there is no digital cameras. It's all analog. So she runs out of film and it just starts freaking out, which freaks out the baby, which then freaks out the adults. And we get a good scene where pretty much these stegos are just trampling everything. I love it when she crawls into the log and the stego flips its tail and smashes the spike through the log.
Yeah.
That's great. And then they run off.
Deuces.
Yeah. We get back to, is there an interaction between them before we get back to the trucks?
Yeah, they're talking.
Because she says, I know you want to be a white knight.
Yeah, it's great that you came in here on a white horse. Yeah. Sometimes they need you to show up in a cab.
Yeah.
And then they talk about like, because this is where like Eddie Carr and Nick Van Owen are kind of like taking everything in. He's like, you might as well just cancel the awards, give me the Pulitzer Prize. Thank you for everybody that entered. He tries to light up his cigarette and said, hey, don't do that. It's that whole interaction about like how she's like, all right, we're trying to stay make as least of little on this impact as possible. These guys are taking all the coolness. Ian's like, dude, this place sucks. We need to leave.
Yeah.
And then
it's like I was on an island like this before and it didn't go so well for me.
Yeah.
And right.
And she's trying to like she's all hyped up and excited. She's talking about different dinosaurs. Like she was saying some facts about the T-Rex and all that. And Ian's back there like, I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah,
I don't care. I
don't care.
I just want to get out of here. To get back to their vehicles, they have a couple trucks or SUVs, and then they have this big giant trailer. Their fight, Ian and Sarah are still fighting, and then Ian storms off and he goes into the trailer. And who does he find? But his daughter, Kelly.
But why did they go back to the truck?
Oh, because there was a fire.
Yes.
Yes, there was a fire, and so they had to go put the fire out.
Make them food.
Yep, and Ian is like, "You gotta be shitting me." The one person more than Sarah that I didn't want on this island, and you're here now.
You told me to come.
And he's like, well, I never said that.
That's such a teenager thing, dude.
So great.
100%. To you.
She's just, it's great because he's telling her to stay, or no, he tells her to go, and then she's about to get out of the trailer. She's like, no, don't go out there. It's dangerous out there. Don't go out there.
What is it?
This is tall talk. There was a height requirement for conversation.
Oh man. We then go outside and we see helicopters flying in the distance. And what do we see as we look through the binoculars? They say InGen.
And he looks in the binoculars the wrong way. They're
really?
Yes, I've never seen this.
I had to watch it twice. I'm like, did he really just look at him?
Oh man,
the bottom of the binocular.
Oh man, I have to find some way to edit this clip into the show. Thank God,
dude, it's glorious.
Thank God I have some time.
He grabs him from Eddie, and Eddie has him right, but when he grabs him, he just puts him up.
Oh, that's
the wrong way.
That's great. So yeah, we see some InGen helicopters flying by, and that's when Eddie's like, I don't remember any talks about this happening. No one knows except for Nick, of course, that this
doesn't divulge that yet.
No. He doesn't tell anybody, but we all know later on that he is the only one who knows why they're really there.
Yeah.
We meet. We then get the chase scenes. Right? Is this where we get our first like driving scene where they're driving in between the dinosaurs? And I'm not going to name all the dinosaurs. If Dan wants to name all the dinosaurs we see, go for it because I can't remember them all.
4 or 5 I remember. There's Pachycephalosaurus, which is the Friar Tucks. Parasaurolophus,
which is Elvis.
There's the long-necked sauropods I want to say they're Mamenchisaurus.
Well, I don't think.
No, they don't give them a name. They're too big to capture anyway. I'm pretty sure there's some trikes in that scene, Stegosaurus, and possibly Gallimimus, maybe.
I believe I remember seeing that. We see Ludlow again, and we meet Roland Tembo and Ajay Sindhu. The one thing I don't appreciate in this movie, this was something that I believe the actor who played Ajay is not actually Indian. He was a white guy that they pretty much did like brown face on.
Oh, I did not know that.
So I don't. That's a no. Like, I just want to state that that's not cool. But we meet those characters, and then we meet Roland's second in command, Dieter Stark, and paleontologist Robert Burke.
Yeah.
So Dieter Stark was played by by someone we have talked about on the show, not with Dan and Ara, but with my brother, Peter Stormare. Oh, the last time we talked about him, it was Bad Boys 2.
He's always a villain. Almost always.
A villain. I wouldn't know if do you consider him a villain in this movie? I mean, I guess he's worked for the bad guy.
He's just a dick.
Yeah. Peter Stormare plays a great douchebag. A very hateable character. I love though when they're driving and Roland is trying to figure out the dinosaur. He's looking through the face, like the one with the pompadour, the Elvis.
Elvis.
So good. I love it. And then they got the one vehicle that's got like the retractable like fork that goes in front of it with like the airbags.
Yeah.
Boy, this is
it's just the way to sell some toys right there.
Kind of sad though.
The one that the one that he shoots the really long gun out the side, like that's the little there's the regular little Jeeps he shoots that Parasaurolophus. Dieter does because Dieter and Carter.
With the little car that scoots out the side, and the one where I think the saddest one was definitely the one they had one the rope around its neck, and then one around another part of its body, and then they had one wrapped around its leg, and then they just pull and it just freaking just smashes on the ground. Like, this is sad. But then you got the Friar Tuck dinosaurs freaking blast through the door, the guy through the door, and he flies out the other side. So good.
That's great.
So as this all is happening, it's all sad. We see our main cast of characters sitting on top of a cliff watching over, and we'll kind of get a scene later in the series that's kind of reminiscent to this. I'm not going to
Jurassic World.
I'm not going to state what. Okay, yeah.
No, sorry.
Yes, there is a scene. That's why I said there was a scene in a future movie that is similar to this. That's where we have to keep going, Dan. You don't say the movie. Future spoilers. We try not to have future spoilers here on this show, but sometimes it happens. And then we get and then we get him. So we meet Robert Burke, who is the paleontologist, who is I guess the backer like character, the one that they Tim speaks about in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who explains. He's the one who's watching over the Friar Tuck and talking about the skull, and that's when it hits the guy in the vehicle. I love that.
Yep.
And he has we'll talk about more about him later. So Malcolm's group realizes that Ludlow and InGen are planning to take the captured specimens back to the mainland to an unfinished Jurassic Park attraction.
Yep.
In San Diego. And which was originally created by Hammond. But then he decided, I'm going to spend a lot of money, buy an island, and create this big old park. So it was abandoned. So it was something that was already had been built by Hammond, and Ludlow is just going to take it over and save. He's trying to save the company in very greedy ways.
Yeah, see, Hammond just wanted to spare no expense. That's all it was.
Exactly. We then have the group go down to the campsite where Ludlow is giving a presentation about... do we get the Roland scene where he goes into him and Ajay are... Right.
That's before that.
Good old Wikipedia just cutting a bunch of stuff out of their plot synopsis.
Those bastards.
Those bastards. This is what happens when you actually didn't watch the movie before the show. Good on me. So yeah, we give Ajay and Roland. My lord, they are camping in a tree. They're setting a trap. Roland is there for the big buck. He is there for the T-Rex. He wants the
Roland.
Bull. Yes.
Where are you going? To collect my fee, Mr. Ludlow. To collect my fee.
Yes.
By the way, the gun, I don't know the specific make, but it's a 500 Nitro Express. It's used specifically for hunting elephants. I just want to let you guys know that's a ridiculous cartridge.
The perfect weapon
you
then.
Need something large.
If you're going to be hunting a T-Rex.
Right?
Probably still wouldn't take it down.
Shot placement.
So
you said something really cool though about
I will.
Scene with the
when you get a little bit. There's actually two for what the scene we're coming up to. Yeah.
So the group decides we're going to break all these dinosaurs out. They're all in cages down in a campsite. Ludlow is giving his presentation about Jurassic Park San Diego, and that's when Nick, Ian, and Sarah, they go down and open up all the cages, causing chaos in the campsite. And that's when Ludlow figures out that there are others there. There's saboteurs here. Who's here? Yeah, we're not alone. God, I hate you, Ludlow.
So if I can give you a little context about I can make you hate Ludlow more if you'd like.
More than I already.
So prior to when he mentions about going to collect his fee, Ajay and Roland find the Rex nest, and you see the baby Rex in there. First bit of trivia: when he first walks in, there's a Parasaurolophus, an Elvis corpse right on the side of the tree, like it had been hunted. That was actually meant for a scene at the beginning of the movie. A fishing boat was supposed to fish out like a corpse of like a dinosaur, and that was the corpse they were going to use. But they scrapped the scene and used it in that T-Rex nest scene. So interesting bit there. Secondly, cool. You'll notice in the movie, I'll wait because you're going to come up to this next part, and it'll explain it. I can explain it, but go ahead.
On the way back after releasing all these dinosaurs, they're on their way back to so as all this craziness has happened, a truck explodes, flies into the air, and almost kills Roland and AJ as it perfectly hits in the spot they were sitting in the tree. So that means it takes them out of the situation. So as Nick and Sarah and Ian are going back to the trailer in the trucks, they hear a squawking, and they find a baby Rex trapped or in a trap, pretty much. No, not pretty much. He's in a trap. They take him out. He's wailing. Nick decides to bring him back to the trailer, and Ian is not okay with this at all. No. He is not okay with this. He's in the middle of calling, he's trying to call the mainland to get them off the island, but it's storming again. This is not a good place to be. There's always hurricanes and storms. Yes, and he doesn't speak Spanish.
That lady was giving him the look for, though.
He's the baby Rex is squawking away, and Kelly is freaking out. She is not a fan of this. She's like, I need to go somewhere. I need to go somewhere high. So they decide they're gonna go hang out with Eddie in his high.
Yeah.
And boy, this is one shot that is clearly a green screen.
No.
It's terrible. This is one scene where I was like, man, this looks bad. This where they're in the high, and it's supposed to be like behind them is the jungle, the top of the jungle. It doesn't look good. It looks pretty bad.
I just want to know how they got above all the other trees. Like, was there one tree that was like extremely high?
Get that high? Isn't the whole point? Is it supposed to be the tree that helps them get to that height? But they're above everything.
Fun fact: this is in the original novel, and it was supposed to be in the movie. The high was supposed to be attacked by velociraptors. But they never.
We don't get to see them for a while.
Nope.
We then cut back to the trailer where Nick and Sarah are trying to fix up the baby Rex, and I love it where she's just like, she pulled out her hand because he's chewing gum, and he just spits in her hand. He's like, no, the gum, you idiot.
Well, see. Now I can do my other fun fact here, because did you ever wonder how the Rex got its leg broken?
Was it because of the trap?
No, it actually wasn't a trap. They had caught the T-Rex because it was just a baby.
Oh, yes, and they were trying to lure the parents back so he could shoot the male.
Well, they caught it, and while you would think it was Roland that did it, it actually wasn't Roland. It was a scene. It was filmed. It was not used. There's actually publicity shots of it. Ludlow, while it's in the trap, is talking to Roland. Falls on the Rex and breaks its leg.
Oh, it's
because he's an idiot. Because you see him, he drinks a lot in the movie. You notice he's clearly got an alcohol problem.
That, and he's probably super stressed because he probably doesn't even want to be there.
No, he's a dumbass.
He just wants to, like, he's got to make an appearance,
Yeah, like they just caught him to like, okay, we're gonna catch so the baby doesn't go anywhere.
Why they gotta show these? I hate when they cut those things and then you don't understand, because for the longest time I thought that the baby Rex got hurt from the trap. But then I realized it's not a trap because they're just they don't want the baby, they want the adult. He wants the male.
Yeah, that's all he wants.
It's pretty much just chained to something.
Well, there's also another scene at the very beginning of the movie. Here's a really interesting bit. There's a scene at the beginning of the film that was initially meant to be shown in theatrical releases, but never was shown in any theatrical cut, any cut on DVD, but it was shown on TV runs of the movie. I've seen this clip on the internet. It's actually of Roland before he joins them in South Africa.
Yes, I've seen the scene.
Yes,
where he fights the guy.
It gives more credence to his character.
Yes.
Like, he's not just a dick. Like, he stands for things. He's a good character, but it's all cut out, and it would have helped him as a character in this film, as well as the Rex leg finding out that was the other guy, Ludlow, that did it. I don't want to see T. Yes.
I was gonna say there was a bunch of scenes that because we talked about this on probably during the MonsterVerse shows.
We did. I
do remember you talking about how the TV version of this movie shows all those deleted scenes.
Well, at least the one with Roland. I don't know about there's publicity shots of the scene where the T-Rex gets his leg broken by Ludlow. But I don't think there's any actual known clips to exist of it.
That's lame. Nick and Sarah are trying to fix up the Rex, and it's squawking. Nick puts a belt around its mouth to kind of quiet it down.
Yeah.
We then cut back to Malcolm, Kelly, and Eddie up in the high, and that's where we hear the trees rustling, and they are snapping. And we just look down. This is a better shot. I don't know how you went from a really bad green screen shot from when they're looking straight at them, and then you look, and then they show the shot of the tree line as it's just moving, and you're like, what the hell is that? And that's when Malcolm's like, I gotta get back to the trailer now. So Kelly, you're gonna stay up here. I'm gonna just shoot my way down there. Get back to the trailer, hopefully before these giant dinosaurs get there. Don't know how he got back before the T-Rexes got there, but yes, they're T-Rexes that are going after the baby.
Well, yeah, that's actually, I like that scene because they're talking, and Malcolm's trying to calm down Kelly, and she's like, I heard about your story. He's like, oh, this is nothing like that. And then you hear the T-Rex roar in the distance. Yeah. I love that scene. And then when he goes down, Eddie has some of the best lines, by the way, in this whole movie. And when he goes down, he's just falls. Boom, 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 through all the trees. God, the guy could have squeezed a little harder. Yeah. It's so good.
So Ian somehow gets to the trailer before the Rexes do, which is mind-boggling. Even though he had a vehicle, I'm guessing, there's no way.
Yeah.
I feel like those Rexes had a good distance between them. Ian gets back to the trailer. He's pretty much like, the baby needs to go. We gotta put it back outside. And then that's when we get the Rexes, both of them. There's 2 in this one, guys. We got 1 in the last one. We get a 2-fer in this one. Actually, we get 2 and a third because we got the baby too.
That's true.
Love it. So you get both. You get one Rex looking into the window from one side, and then you get the other one peeking in from the other side, and then you get the cool slow open where it opens its mouth and does the smaller roar. It's not like the full roar. It's great. So they're like, okay, I think it's time to let the baby out. So they take the belt off of the baby's snout, and they pretty much gently put the baby Rex back with the parents. But the parents are like, nah, we know there's food in there. It's time to feed it. The baby's got to eat. The Rex's tag team and pretty much flip the trailer a bunch of times. And then they proceed to push the trailer over the side of a cliff.
Half of it.
Yes. You get one half of it is hanging out, and the other one is propped up, slowly squeaking its way off. Fun fact, this scene was actually filmed on the side of a parking garage at the Universal, I believe on the Universal lot. The only way I knew this was from watching another show where the guy who hosts the show worked or parked his car in that lot, after the movie was made. And he was told that they filmed that scene there.
Oh, that makes sense.
And you could actually be walking down the street and see the stunt performers or whoever, even if it was the actual actors hanging from the wire.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
So that's all happening. And Eddie is like, well, I got to go now too. So he leaves Kelly all alone in the high.
Yep.
Hops in his cool Mercedes SUV, drives down to where the trailer once was and where all that. Well, actually, we get the scene where you just see the car fly by. It just bounces, and that's when you see the Rexes.
Yep.
He pulls up. He pulls. He's got to pretty much use his winch to try to pull this trailer back up. It's a very tough task, but Eddie is determined to do it. He slips a couple times. It kind of reminds me of the scene with Nedry as he's trying to winch his way out of his situation and kind of it's raining, it's muddy, he slips a couple times, but Eddie's a better character than Nedry.
Shit on, dude.
Yeah,
he gets so shit on.
Eddie is such a great character, and man, Steven Spielberg is like, we want to put some tears in people's eyes as they watch this great character just get just destroyed. So Eddie wraps the winch around the trailer, wraps it around the tree, and he gets in his car and he is going gung ho. Actually, he gets into the trailer first and he asks, like, is everybody okay? What do you guys need? He's like, would like a triple cheeseburger? And like they're like making an order for a McDonald's order.
Yeah. I need 3 double cheeseburgers. No one eats on mine. And an apple turnover. We do that at work.
That's great. Eddie gets in the car and he is pedal to the metal trying to get this trailer back up. He starts to get it back up, and that's when the Rexes show back up. Yeah. And poor Eddie. Eddie is still determined. The fact that Eddie is still determined to help his friends as he's being attacked by not one but 2 massive T-Rexes is just shows that Eddie is amazing.
The Rexes to get his weapon out, but it's stuck.
It's like
the
jammed
seat.
there.
It's got the mesh on the seat. Yeah.
The Rexes pretty much swipe at his vehicle with their heads, causing a lot of damage to the vehicle. And then the one T-Rex grabs him, picks him up by his legs, tosses him up in the air. One grabs his legs, one grabs the front or the top part of his body, and they just rip him in half.
Yep.
Make a wish.
And he gets the worst death of anybody in this movie by a landslide.
Told you his was a lot more painful than Nedry.
Actually, I should back up a little bit because before this is when Sarah falls. She falls onto the glass.
Yeah, the glass.
And that's when Ian grabs her backpack, her lucky pack. And he's like, you got to grab it. You got to grab it. As she's slowly trying to inch her way up, the glass is all cracking underneath her. And he's like, you got to grab it. And because Eddie died, there's no one driving the car, which means there's nothing keeping the trailer from sliding. So after Eddie is killed, the trailer goes over. And right as the trailer is about to go over, that's when right as the glass is about to break, she grabs the lucky pack. And then that's when everything...
The satellite phone falls.
Yes. Yeah. And then that's when then the glass breaks. She grabs the lucky pack. The trailer then slides through as they're holding onto the cable that Eddie had thrown over. So even though Eddie was killed, he was still a hero because he is the one who threw the rope that they were holding onto when the trailer falls over. So Eddie, you did a good deed.
Yeah, I remember hearing. I know you said that definitely Steven Spielberg was like, you want to give the worst death to Eddie,
to a good character. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I'd also heard it was the same thing. They wanted to make it seem like nobody was safe. Doesn't matter what you did as a character, you just you're likely you could die from anything in this movie. So.
Exactly. I feel like that was kind of like Muldoon in Jurassic Park. Like he was very loved. He was I think a lot of people liked him in the demeanor he had, but he also had that poetic justice where the Raptors, end up killing him, which was perfect.
Yeah.
So R.I.P. Eddie. They get helped up by Roland and his crew. And Ludlow's also there because he has to be there, of course.
Yeah.
And then we get this is like Jurassic Park meets Lord of the Rings. When we just get a walking montage of just people just walking. We get great interactions between the two groups because, of course, one group is doing bad things and the other group is trying to prevent them from doing bad things. And the group also the one group finds out the other group sabotaged them pretty much, letting all the dinosaurs out.
Yeah, that's why Nick gets into a fight with Dieter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Over that.
They get to a certain spot of the forest. They're going to decide to take a break. And Dieter, he's got to go take a piss. So he goes away and he tells his friend,
Carter.
But he's listening to his headphones. He's got some sweet old Spanish music going on in his ears. Some sweet tunes.
I would like to state, I believe, yes, Carter was actually played by a Hispanic individual. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. So no whitewashing here.
No, just Ajay. Just Ajay in this movie.
Yeah, that was it.
So yeah, Carter.
Love the joke.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I love the joke that Roland makes about the T-Rex is not being hungry.
Predators don't hunt when they're not hungry.
You're talking about Eddie. That's not funny.
The man deserves some respect. Yeah. He sacrificed his own. He saved our lives by giving his. Well, his troubles are over. he's a dude. And I gotta say, it's one of my favorite lines from the movie is Roland. It's after the whole scene of the then goes over the cliff, before they stop with the Carter and Dieter thing. It's where Nick Van Owen is talking to Roland, and he says, "You look like you got a lick of sense. What are you doing here?" And he explains this whole, the greatest predator ever lived, the T-Rex, is back, and the second greatest hunter has to bring him down. And he's like, why would you do that? Why, whatever. And he's like, remember that chap? It was about, at this time, 20 years ago. He said he climbed Mount Everest, came down frozen, nearly dead. And people asked him, why was it?
Climb Mount Everest with no oxygen.
With no oxygen, came down nearly dead. And they asked him, why did you go up there to die? And he said, I didn't. I went up there to live. And it just kind of builds some more, like, bolsters his character more. And then what's his name? Ian and Ludlow have a conversation telling him he's a piece of crap and he'll never be Hammond. They like care.
Just slaps him right in his manhood.
Back to Carter.
So Dieter tells Carter he's got to go take a piss, but Carter can't hear him because he's enjoying some sweet tunes.
Yeah, that's right.
Dieter. So if we back up a bit, just a quick note: Dieter was blamed for the dinosaurs getting released. He was in charge of making sure nothing happened, and Dieter's also an alcoholic. You could tell. Peter Stormare, or Peter Stormare just always looks like an alcoholic in this movie.
Yeah,
in every movie.
He did zap that compy at the beginning of the film.
Yep.
Yeah.
He goes down to take a piss, and in the middle of the deed, a compy pops up on the log and stares at him, and he thinks, "Oh, well, I got this cool little tiny cattle prod. I'm gonna get him," and he does. But then a bunch of them show up, and boy, this is great.
He chases it a little bit.
It falls.
And he falls, and that's when they all show up.
Yeah.
Hey, Carter, got turned around in here.
He's lost.
Yeah, and then he can't find his way back, so he's yelling for Carter, who still can't hear him. No one can hear him. Carter can't hear him, and he's wearing headphones, but there's other people who aren't wearing headphones. No one hears him screaming. He is getting chased in the river by the compies, and you get the first attack on him, which is great because it's not CG. The first attack, it's all practical compies that they've placed on him to look like they're attacking him, and they're like literally they got his skin in his mouth, like they're like moving their heads. Yeah. Oh my god! When he grabs the compy and pulls it off his lip, man, that hurts me. Yes. It hurts me every time I watch it.
I was like, oh gosh, they ripped his lip.
They have a great sound effect too when he pulls it off.
Yeah. Oh. So he throws some rocks, or he then gets them all away. They all run. I love how they all run away, but then they turn around and they just stare at him as he throws. Up and down. Yeah, he's just like, he's like, I'm ready for more. He's like throwing rocks at him and kicking shit.
Yeah.
And then
because he lost his gun, his weapons.
Yeah, he lost his stuff.
He then gets attacked, swarmed by a bunch of them again. He then climbs over a log, and that is the end of Dieter. As you see the blood go down the river, indicating his death.
Fun fact:
it's just desserts.
That is very close to how Hammond died in the original novel.
He died by compies.
Yes, falling down into a riverbed.
We then So pretty much where they're all walking to is they got to go to an abandoned InGen base because they got to call for help because none of the communications are working. So that is where they're going. They camp out at I guess a dried up riverbed. That's
what's
something like that.
I
don't remember.
I don't remember it.
Because
a lot of rocks.
Roland tells him to go forward.
Oh, because he goes and looks for Dieter.
Yeah, because it was him,
they go to the
Ajay, and I think Carter go with him to go look for Dieter, and he tells the rest of the group to go on to a certain point. Stop.
And they find him, don't they? Like they state that they find him.
Only the pieces they didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Roland is straightfortard. He don't.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't grieve. He's just like
he does not.
We found him, but only the parts that they didn't like.
Yep. That's so good.
I wrote something down and I don't know what it is.
You're not drunk yet, are you?
I've been drinking Coke. I don't know what that is.
I guess this Roland and group come back.
Yeah, they find pieces.
Talk about
something.
Village?
Oh, the village.
That's what they call it? As a village?
Well, they stop at a riverbed, but that's where they're trying to go is the village because it's all geothermal powered.
Right.
So they have comms equipment in theory.
So they camp out at this riverbed or whatever the hell it is. And Sarah has I'm trying to remember exactly what happens first. Show Sarah and Kelly in their tent first in the scene?
they're talking about what to do next. Then it cuts to them.
Well, Malcolm's walking around, and I mean, you see people sleeping, but Malcolm's walking around, and all of a sudden he sees and feels footsteps, and he sees the ripples and then it cuts to her, and her eyes shoot open, and she looks up and sees her jacket,
which is covered in the baby Rex blood,
and they've been eating food,
right?
So she like tries to get it all, hid before it comes.
Which
I don't think
they bring up about when they stop for when Dieter goes to take a piss. They stop and Roland asks if she's hurt because he knows blood being left behind.
Right.
Yeah. And which her being an animal behavioralist, there's a term I can't remember. She should know. She should have get rid of that vest. She should have dumped it a long time ago.
Yeah, because she mentions that it's the T-Rex's blood and it's not drying in the humidity.
Yeah.
She hides everything. She sees the silhouette of the Rex head outside the tent, but then the Rex pokes its head through the opening of the tent, which is great because it's another practical effect. It's great. Imagine just laying there and we're like, we got to put this 9-ton dinosaur head into this tent. Hopefully it doesn't fall on you.
That's scary.
That's terrifying. The Rex, she's trying not to react. So Sarah sees it first and then Kelly sees it and she's going to scream and Sarah covers her mouth and it's Carter who causes everything to go down because he wakes up, he sees the Rex, he's like, and he yells, I had it in my trivia too about what he screams.
Yeah, I don't know. That one I was always wondering what he screamed, but I don't know Spanish or
I had it too. Yeah, the Carter screams, which then causes the Rex to react, which the Rex lifts up. It's got the tent still on its head. It shakes it off, and then we get everybody running. Now, the Rex that pokes its head in the tent is the male, right?
I think I lose track of him in this because it's dark.
Because the Rex that chases everybody is the female.
Yeah.
Because then we get Roland putting the tranks in his gun, and then he ends up, and then he's gonna, and then you see the male is kind of just walking around.
He tries to shoot it, but he has no bullets in his gun.
Oh, right, because Nick sabotages him.
Because he's that Earth First bastard.
Yep.
Which I would like to let you know, like pulling an actual shell, like a projectile out of a shell, is not that easy. So he must have really worked to pop those out. But anyway, because he gets rid of his shotgun, his side by side, and grabs one of those trank dart guns.
Yeah, and then you just see the males kind of just walking around in that area.
Yeah.
But the female is the one that is chasing.
That's when Carter dies.
No,
yes. No, it's in the chase. They are running. Carter trips. He falls in a puddle, and the Rex steps on him. And as she lifts her foot, Carter is still alive under his foot, and then she steps on him again, and it kills him.
Yeah. Yep.
R.I.P. Carter.
Yep.
Oh,
Rip Carter.
So. What Carter screams at the sight of the T-Rex is matalo, which I probably mispronounced that, which is kill him in Spanish.
Oh, interesting.
So after that, the female continues to chase everybody. They run into a waterfall, which I have no idea how they knew there was that much of an opening in this waterfall, but there is. So everybody's in there. We got random characters that nobody knows. We got Burke, Malcolm, Sarah. Malcolm's not there yet. Right. So, and the Rex pokes her head through, and that's when we get the licking where she's like licking. Oh man,
is that necessary?
Yeah, because it's the blood on the jacket too.
Yeah,
but he's licking her face.
Yeah, well, it's got a big head. It's just kind of flailing its tongue around it.
We then turn to Burke, who is standing next to her, and a snake slithers down his shirt, causing him to freak out, which then causes him to run out of the waterfall. And then he gets, you hear the crunch as he's grabbed by the Rex and the blood waterfalls. Everybody's screaming. And then they think they're like, it's coming back. And then that's when Malcolm runs through the waterfall.
Yeah.
You would think that a guy that is so obsessed with dinosaurs would not be scared of a snake, but I'm wondering if he was more worried that it was a poisonous snake.
Venomous snake. He might have known it was a venomous snake. I didn't know. I didn't pay attention to the colors on it.
It could have
because it was black.
Was it black and yellow or red?
It was black, yellow, and red.
Was the black next to the yellow or the red?
Oh, see, I don't know.
Because if it's red and black, it's front of Jack. It's red to yellow, kill a fellow. General consensus.
Yeah. After everybody escapes the waterfall, they all venture out. We have two crews now. It's back to Ian, Sarah, Kelly, and Nick. are together. And then we have Ajay and a bunch of just random characters that don't have names running through first we get that group running through the tall grass, and that's when we get
don't run into the long grass.
Run into the long grass.
Oh God.
And he throws his backpack, and that's when we get this is a great way to introduce the Raptors in this movie. So good. You just see the grass moving, and then you get the overhead shot where they're all in like a line walking straight through this long grass, and then the Raptors are all just swarming them. And that's when you get the guy with his
Yeah,
and you got the first guy with his flashlight turns around, it's just a Raptor just leaps out of.
Yes.
Oh my God. And people are just getting like, it's one of those things where you don't see the Raptors. The people are just getting ripped down and dragged through the grass. Oh, so
and
great.
Then everybody kind of like scatters, which is worse. And then the Raptors just pick them off.
And then Malcolm, Sarah, and Kelly are right after them. And man, these Raptors clean up well. The only thing that was left was Ajay's backpack. They're like, oh, this is Ajay's backpack. He wouldn't have just left this here. As we see in the prior scene, he just tosses it.
Yeah.
So they run through the tall grass. They get to the abandoned InGen station, and pretty much they're like, all right, Nick is he's got to go to the radio room, the control room, and he's got to try to radio out to get people here.
Because now this is the part I don't fully remember. Malcolm either hurt himself or it's his leg injury from the first film acting up. He says something about his leg.
Well, they slide down that
embankment. Is that where he does?
Yes, when he slides down. But it could have been. I mean, you could be right.
But he was limping before then, because when they were leaving from their break, Kelly asked him to carry her, and he's already limping.
So it probably is his leg injury from the first movie,
which is great that they.
It's a good
that
callback.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't ignore a big piece of Malcolm's character in the.
They don't
film.
like throw it in your face, but
no.
You could like pay attention to his mannerisms. Yeah, good call, dear.
It's great.
Like that.
So they get to this abandoned station. Nick goes to the radio room to try to call for help, and that's when we get our second Raptor encounter. And the first Raptor encounter for Malcolm, Kelly, and Sarah, as the Raptor leaps onto Sarah's backpack and Sarah rips it off her, and they start running. That's when we get the face off between Malcolm has his Raptor he's fighting against, and then Sarah and Kelly have their Raptor they're fighting against. There's two or three.
He has one and she has two.
Okay.
Her and Kelly have two. I want to. There's actually a callback to a joke earlier in the movie, because when they're coming up to the radio station, Ian's like, Nick Vano.
Yeah.
Like, why does he say his whole name? I love it because I don't know. It's just a callback to the joke at the beginning.
Yes,
it is. It's fantastic. Subtle. You wouldn't even notice if you're not paying attention, but good stuff.
Right. So the rest of them are getting attacked by Raptors. Malcolm is on his own. He's getting thrown through a bunch of windows. He's got glass sticking out of everywhere. That's just so much glass. He gets the thing is he gets like this one scene always baffled me. He gets like booted out the side of this building through the window, and it sounds like he rips ass.
I didn't notice that.
Then he runs. Then he runs into the car.
He's an international scout too.
Yeah, he runs into the.
I can't help it.
He runs into the truck, and that's when the Raptor makes a hole in the window, and then starts pushing its snout through as it's trying to get out. I'm like, this Raptor's a psycho. Like this Raptor.
Look what he did before. He jumps through the glass window of the gas station. He knocks him out. He runs around and jumps through the other glass window when he could have gone through the window that was already broken out.
Yeah.
He's just metal.
Yeah.
Well, they are, but he's just metal.
Yeah. Kelly and Sarah are locked in like a shack. They are being attacked by two, and they're trying to dig their way in, which is a really cool effect. You could see the Raptors literally like digging through, and they're like trying to squeeze themselves through. A lot of thought in this. But this is when it goes from like, ooh, that's really cool, to what the fuck is this? So the Raptors start climbing up the side of the building inside. They finally get in. They do their crazy jumps because they can jump like 10 feet in the air. They get up there, and that's when Kelly's like, I'm going to do my gymnastic routine. And you're like, oh, come on.
Why?
This is stupid.
Good. She grabs the bar to start her routine before the Raptor is in the spot it's supposed to be at when she finishes the routine. What are you? They're like, okay, she's gymnastics. She does gymnastics. We have to incorporate it in the movie. Why here?
I just imagine the Raptor go, what the fuck is she doing? Because he's like looking at her like, Okay.
Is this something things do?
She kicks the raptor out of the window,
We've
causing
never
it
done
to
this before.
getting it impaled. So that's one raptor down. We then get Sarah climbing out the roof, and she is attached to those like shingles, like those weird like clay,
Yeah,
like shingles.
like
Yeah,
like they're like Hispanic style houses. They have
yeah.
like
You see them a lot in like Florida or
yeah.
tropical regions.
I need to mention, I did squeak. I need to mention this. Something that's really stupid about the gymnastics scene. All right, I hate, this is the one scene in the movie like they should just cut out. Like if there was ever like Lost World Jurassic Park, the Dan cut, this would be like gone. Like this scene would just be gone instantly. Okay, so when she swings to kick the dinosaur through the wood, all right, she's a teenage girl, right? Very slim built teenage girl.
Yeah.
She can't weigh very much.
No.
Probably around the 100-pound range, give or take a little bit, right? This dinosaur is heavy, several 100 pounds at least.
Definitely, probably 300-400 pounds.
Yeah, when she hits that dinosaur, she would not have retained her momentum.
No.
To knock that dinosaur through the wood that she did, she literally would have let go and just thrown her entire weight at that dinosaur, and she would have hurt herself in the process. I know it's a movie thing.
It was literally just, hey, remember when she talked about gymnastics for 3 seconds in the beginning of this movie? Yeah, we had to throw back to that. It's like, well, no, you didn't. It's stupid.
Well, what they could have done that was better is like have Sarah start climbing up, and Kelly's like, oh, I'm a gymnast, I can do this, and used her gymnastics to climb up and be like, I'm more effective at climbing because I know how to gymnastics up the bars and not kick the dinosaur. I'm just saying.
It's stupid. I know.
Yeah,
it's very stupid. We get so Sarah is climbing off the roof. She ends up the raptor. One of the raptors gets there too, and she's pulling the shingles down, causing it to fall, which then it falls right next to the other raptor, which then causes both raptors to start fighting each other. It's great. Once all that happens, they all run away, and there's a helicopter, and that's when Nick is like, hey, over here. There's a helicopter. They all hop on the helicopter. They fly away. And as they fly away, though, they see a big old Rex inside of like this weird cage thing. And that's when we go down to ground level where Roland is sitting next to the Rex. And Ludlow walks up to him and is like, well, it looks like you got your prize. And then this is when you first see emotion from Roland, because Ajay died. So he was sad. He was sad that Ajay's dead. So it wasn't fully worth it. And instead of killing the Rex, he tranks it, which means the Rex is going to go back to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and it kind of shows what he cares about most, because obviously he wanted to be there hunting, but like even though he got what he wanted, his friend died, and he's like, this wasn't worth it. Yep. Like this was not even remotely worth it.
The helicopter ride is where you find out that Nick took.
Yep, he
drops.
He drops. Yeah, he drops them.
Yep.
So then
I hate that, man.
We turn to the final part of this movie, to the third act, which is our adventure in San Diego, which means bye, Kelly. Bye, Nick. We don't see you anymore.
Fun fact, the ending was supposed to be entirely different.
Oh.
The ending of this movie was originally supposed to have Sarah riding a motorcycle being chased by velociraptors, which may sound similar to something that happens in a later movie.
Yes.
That's what's supposed to happen. And the rest of the group was supposed to get to the village that they had just departed from, and there was supposed to be a scene involving pterosaurs in the second movie. But he decided to change that and went with the San Diego scene.
So we are now in San Diego, California, where Ludlow is giving another just awesome speech to this group of investors or whatever the frick they are. And they're waiting on a ship to come in, which the ship pretty much, I don't know if they say that the ship has the Rex and the baby Rex, but
not specifically, but I mean Ludlow knows what's going on, but they don't like announce what's.
So they walk. So Ian and Sarah show up to this whole thing, and they try to get in, and they pretty much are like, "Hey, we want to talk to Ludlow." So their security guy brings them there. But then we get a guy come out, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to come see this. The radar is weird. There's a ship coming, and it's coming really fast." And that's when you get this guy's voice is great. when he's calling, he's like engine 4 something, whatever the call was, as the it's like you need to reduce your speed, and that's when we're out in the dock and you can just see it's like what is going on. It's like probably should get out of here. That's what Malcolm and says like we should have stayed in the damn car as the ship pops out of nowhere and just blasts through the dock.
Yeah, Ludlow doesn't say shit. He tries to sneak out before the boat gets there.
Yep. He knows what's going. He knows what's going down.
Over here.
Yeah, so he does that. The boat crashes into the dock, causes a lot of damage, and then Ludlow and just a random guard, I guess, they climb aboard to see what happened, and there's just body parts everywhere. What caused this?
Dude, that's what I want to know.
The Rex and the baby are in the cargo hold. Were there other dinosaurs on this? This never gets explained. No one knows what happened.
No, they explain in the movie after this scene that the Rex was brought back on the plane. The baby Rex, the male adult was the only one on the boat.
So how? But how? But it still doesn't answer anything.
It doesn't. Here's my thought.
It'd be pterosaurs.
No, not pterosaurs. Not in that. The pterosaurs more like just to pick stuff up and carry it off. I don't know if it's supposed to be a reference to the original novel. In the original novel, there's a scene where velociraptors get on a boat, and I thought this may be a call to that, which would make sense because velociraptors could have gotten onto a boat and done this kind of damage. But there's no way a T-Rex would have done that. Like he would have literally he would have had to tear the place apart.
Yeah, tear the whole cabin apart to get to them.
I didn't understand it. It was kind of stupid. It was very pointless. It was pointless. You could have just had the ship just dock normally, and the people be like, "Oh, that was a fun ride," and then the T-Rex could still pop out, like still do the escape. Yeah. But it was the fact that the control to the cargo hold where the T-Rex was being held was in one of the hands. The severed hands of a crewman, and the dumbass guy's like, okay, I took it out of his hand. Now I'm gonna hit the button.
They took the cargo hold. There may be crew down there. Get everybody off the boat.
Yeah, and as the guard he's got the control in his hands, like, don't push the button, idiot. And that's what Malcolm's like, no.
Yeah,
and he pushes the button, and that's what caught. And the Rex uses its head to plow its way out of the cargo hold. It storms out, roars, does its thing, and it's great because, actually, that's a little bit later in the scene. But then he goes up to the cliff, and you get the cityscape behind him, and he does his cool roar over the bay.
I like the male's roar in this because it's obviously not the same as Rexy from Jurassic Park, the original, but it's a very deep, like bassy roar. It's very low, and I like that because it kind of differentiates the different T-Rexes.
Yeah, I like that too. We then go back to Malcolm and Sarah where they're like, okay, we know what the Rex wants. The Rex wants the baby, so we got to get to the baby first. And they know where the baby is. That's Jurassic Park, San Diego. So they got to drive that really nice car. What is this car?
It's a GTO. It's like a 68 GTO convertible.
He asked you because he knows you're gonna.
I could be wrong on the specific year, but it's a 68 to 69 GTO convertible. 70 that different front end.
What song are you saying?
What song did you sing? Oh, Making Your Way Downtown. That's it. Damn it. Working your way downtown.
It's making my way downtown, walking slow because I'm a T-Rex and I have short arms.
Yeah, that's it. That's true. It does itch. It itches itself.
Yes. Yeah. Which is a throwback to the 1933 King Kong, where the T-Rex does the same thing.
Yep. Good call. I didn't catch that, but it does do that. Even though the T-Rex in that movie is supposed to be a T-Rex of 33, but it actually is more like an Allosaurus. But anyway, I have a figure. It's out there.
The remake made him more look like a T-Rex.
Oh, very much.
Actually, to be honest, it kind of looks like a mix between a T-Rex and the Indominus Rex, even though that movie was 10 years from that, just the way that the structure, the head looked.
It is. It's actually it's its own unique species. It's a V-Rex, but I can't remember the Shootist Rex or something like that. It's a whole new one. They made it very specific for that movie. I'll look it up while you're talking.
So Ian and Sarah have to locate the infant at the attraction. They retrieve it. They have to use it to lure the male back to the docks. So that was the whole reason why they go get the baby. They want to get the male back to the docks, back on the boat, and get that thing out of here. Because this was a stupid idea.
Yes. Oh, it's Vistatosaurus Rex is the name for the one from King Kong.
It's the Rex is it's making its way downtown of San Diego as it's storming through. It's biting the freaking street lights. It's attacking buses. Very reminiscent to the same
Get out of the pool.
the same motion that it uses in Jurassic Park when it's chasing Muldoon, Ellie, and Malcolm.
In the Jeep. Yep.
Yeah, knocking people out. We get the scene where the guy's running away and then he tries to go into the store and the Rex gets him.
Yeah, he's
one of the
producers.
He's like one of the writers for the movie.
Oh yeah, dude, the way that dude died like stuck with me when I was with like the gargling noise he makes after the second bite, and I was like, whoa! Like as a kid, it just stuck with me. I don't know why.
And then of course,
then we get the
are you gonna say the guys that are running, the Japanese guys running down the street?
Yeah, the Godzilla reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what does he say? He's like, I left Japan because of this or something. Isn't that what he?
Yeah, I left Japan to get away from this or something. Is what it says. Yeah.
Oh man, the Rex makes it to a house where you got the kid sees the Rex and he goes to tell his parents
like Alan Grant.
Yeah, it's like Mom, Dad, there's a dinosaur outside my window. It's it's like we'll see that again in Signs when the girl's like, hey, there's an alien out, or what did she say? There's something outside my window. Can I have a glass of water?
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen Signs.
Signs is great.
It is a good movie.
So they don't believe it. They're having an argument about, is it the fish light? You're like, really? Yeah. Is this the kind of argument you guys are going to have? This marriage is clearly not working out well. They look outside, and that's when the Rex has the dog, the chain hanging out of its mouth with the dog house, meaning the dog is dead. R.I.P.
Poor Puppo.
And the Rex also had a nice drink out of the swimming pool.
Philadelic chlorine.
Yep, it's great. They get to Ian and Sarah get to Jurassic Park San Diego. They get the baby, and that's when we get the chase with the male and them driving away. That's when they pull into the gas station and the 76 ball rolls by him. I think he knows we're here. Oh, because they were like, we need to have it make noise so that he knows we're here. And then that happens. He's like, well, I think he knows we're here. Yeah. And they get
slow down a little bit, Ian. I don't think so.
And they're driving, and the Rex is chasing after him. And I love the animal control vehicles that drive around the corner. And then they just reverse. What is animal control gonna do? And they just reverse out of there. Even the cop cars. Oh man, this is great.
It's so good.
We then so they park. So you guess that they release the infant into the cargo hold because it shows Ian and Sarah jumping into the water. And Ludlow sees this because he's all whimpering, hanging out on the dock with his feet dangling over like, I'm sad guy now.
Give me back that infant.
Yeah. He goes down to the cargo hold to try to like pin the baby. He's like, I got you now, little T-Rex. And that's when Daddy comes in. He's like, ooh, you want to learn how to hunt, baby T-Rex? Here you go. And he like, yep, it's great. Love this death.
Well, see, then this makes more sense what the father T-Rex does because he breaks Ludlow's leg. He broke the baby's leg, which we didn't see, but it happened.
And we also had a talk between Malcolm and Ludlow before this actually happens about, don't worry, you're just like him.
Yeah. Now you're like now
you're John Hammond.
Yeah.
I said Richard Hammond. Like, no, that's wrong.
So the Rex, the adult Rex injures Ludlow, which then gives the baby Rex an opportunity to learn how to hunt, pouncing on him, killing him, and thank goodness his character's done. It only took the whole movie. So
I remember. Go ahead.
So after that, we get Sarah with her trank gun. She shoots a dart into the Rex's head, and we get the last roar before the doors shut on top of him.
My daughter was so concerned, dude, during that scene. She's like, "Is it going to shoot the big dinosaur?" I'm like, "No, buddy. She's going to shoot him with a needle, and it's going to make him fall asleep for a while until he gets home." I had to explain all that to her. What about the baby? Like, they're not going to hurt the baby. The baby's
it's
fine.
Okay. It's okay.
He's gonna eat that creepy man down there. It's fine.
We
to help him sleep.
We then see Kelly. Kelly's back. We get to see Kelly one last time hanging out with Sarah and Ian as they're watching TV. They're watching the news of the ship being brought back to Isla Sorna, which the Costa Rican government has now converted into a nature preserve. So pretty much you can't go there. You can't hunt. So leave it to the dinosaurs. Okay. And then you get Hammond saying, trying to be inspirational, even though he's still a slime ball.
Yeah. I still like the speech. I think it's a good speech, but yes, he is.
It fits for the end. It fits for the ending of this movie.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. It's the last time he does that too.
Mm-hmm. And that is the end of The Lost World. Jurassic Park.
We got to see the T-Rexes together and the baby T-Rex.
Oh, that's right. Yep. As he's making the speech, we get the great scene of all the dinosaurs kind of grouping together. The parent Rexes and the baby Rex, and we get our first pterosaur sighting.
Yep. It was like, oh hey, and then you realize in the original movie they were supposed to be in it, and then they just show up at the end. Like, oh well, at least you get to see them.
And that's when, and then it squawks, and then that's the end of the movie.
They needed to come in with the pterosaurs need to come in with giant signs on them that said, "Hey, I'm not a dinosaur."
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're dinosaurs, and they're not dinosaurs. But anyway, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So, what are our final thoughts? We have any final thoughts before we end the show tonight about the Lost World Jurassic Park?
You gotta say.
It's just very quotable.
Listen.
So many quotes.
It is.
If you're feeling it if you're feeling so qualified, you could just try flipping the switch to on.
Yes.
more Eddie Carr quotes.
Oh,
Sorry.
Eddie Carr's great.
It's go ahead.
When he's trying to phone.
Yeah.
I'll give you something that will work.
And he's hitting it. He's like, yeah, keep hitting it. It's gonna work.
So,
Technology and violence, not good bedfellows.
Yep.
Which all the quotes you can tell, I adore this movie so much.
Yes.
But you finished. You needed to say
I
it.
love it.
I'm the same. I like I said, I've seen this movie more than the original one. But the original one's a very close second to how many I've seen. This is my personal favorite movie, though I still do say the first one is a better film because this has its flaws. Ian, I like his character. I love all the characters in this, but Ian's, of course, a different character in this movie than he is in the first one. He still has his overarching themes, but he feels like a different character, and I'm assuming it's probably because of everything that happened on the island. I outside of just not being generally as good as the film, I hold it very closely regards as far as quality. It's just not as good as the original. I mean, that's all I can say. It's got a few more issues, I suppose, but it's just not as good as the original. But I still hold it.
Binoculars.
The binoculars.
The binoculars. I really hope I could get that clip in when I edit this.
Are those heavy? Yeah, though they're expensive. Put them up. That's right. That's first movie.
Yep. So for our rankings, then is where are we putting Lost World?
How can you rank it next?
I know. I feel like this is one of those
second.
series where it's the first one is going to always be number one. This is another Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
We're just like we stated in the last episode, Jurassic Park over here in its own little corner, and then we just rank all the rest of them on together because nothing is going to dethrone Jurassic Park. So yeah, of course Lost World's number 2 for me. It's a very close number 2. I love this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And to be honest, I feel like the next episode it's going to be it's going to be another easy placement. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Go ahead and rank it.
Yeah, let's just already put it there.
It's not just
We're
it's
still
not just
gonna
third.
talk about
It's
it.
way down.
It's a deep third.
It's a deep third.
Right.
No,
right.
Hanging on.
Oh, hey, I want to say one thing. There's one scene I wish would have been in this from the book, because they're not even in the movie at all. You don't even see them for 3 movies from now. There's a scene in the book where they bring more of the genetic splicing into it, which they kind of forget. And this is actually a problem I have with the Jurassic Park series as it goes on. Is the first one had a lot, but not as much as it should have. It gets less and less scientific as it goes on until it comes back to Jurassic World. But it doesn't feel as much as the first one ever did. But anyway, in the second one, there's a scene where they're in a base or something, I don't know, in the novel. And they're watching, it's raining, and they're watching out in the trees, and it's kind of dark. And somebody sees something move, looks like something's moved. Well, what it is it's 2 Carnotaurus, which of course are in Fallen Kingdom. But they camouflage themselves like chameleons. And they kind of slowly drift in and out of color. They blend into the background and then come to their normal colors and stuff. And they're just trying to sneak up on the humans. They know where they are, but it's dark and it's raining and it's storming. And it's just the characters catching subtle glimpses of them as they blend in and out of the background, which is, spoiler alert, where the Indominus got its camouflaging ability from was originally that novel.
Gotcha. So, even though they'll explain that differently in the movie.
Yeah. Well, which is it's actually from the same thing.
Really?
That's how the Carnotaurs do it in the book because of the genetic splicing. They use chameleon DNA to fill the gaps of the Carnotaurus, so it got that ability to blend in and use camouflage like that.
Okay.
Cryptic coloration. That's my biggest thing. That's the only thing I wish was it from the book and the movie. But other than that, it's great.
The books sound like they were a lot scarier.
They were and just way more hot. Of course I'm a big science guy, but real heavy science fiction, which I don't blame them for taking a lot out of the movie because it would have gone over 90% of the audience's head, and if not, most of the audience probably wouldn't even give a shit.
Right.
So
but with books you have to there's stuff that you do have to cut out because if you didn't it would be an 8-hour 9-hour movie
No. There's a reason. I understand. Like, these were handled well. Like, they did a good job with what they did.
Oh, I agree. All right, everybody. That is it for the Lost World Jurassic Park. That is going to be it for this episode. I want to thank Dan and Ara for being here, of course. Where can people find you?
Yeah, where can we get found? Aside from our house.
Oh, don't come to my house.
Don't go to their house.
I don't like people at my house. I have to look it up because I had to make it funky.
But where our address is?
The address. We are on twitch.tv/DNA_gaming1, and we're on Twitter. It's the opposite.
Yeah, she streams more than I do anymore. I'm kind of on like a long sabbatical, but I stream occasionally, and we do movie nights.
So
our Twitter is at DNA Gaming _1.
Okay.
Yeah,
all of these links will be in the description of the video. So
yes.
If you guys didn't get that, you guys will be able to get all of their links down below. Make sure to like and subscribe on the video and comment on anything if we got anything wrong or if there's stuff that we forgot to add, because I know that that's going to be a thing in the show. Is there are going to be, if you got any facts or anything that we missed, or maybe we missed a scene, and please let us know. Yeah. Please leave some nice comments. All right, I'm new to YouTube. So, I don't want to get discouraged right off the rip, Also, if we get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, we get our custom URL. So let's get to those 100 subs, okay? So make sure to hit that sub button down below. There's going to be...
takes his shirt off.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, 100%. And also in the future for the YouTube, we will be doing videos, shorter videos, kind of maybe quicker reviews that'll kind of be separate to this show. This will be our longest show on the channel. Like I said, in the future, we're going to do like shorter shows and quick reviews and stuff like that. So look forward to that. Also, we'll be dropping on podcast services, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. Make sure to leave us a review, leave us a score if you can, or a rating on those sites or whatever site you listen to our podcast on. They will be released every Friday, video form on YouTube and audio on podcast services. So looking forward to it.
Yes, those reviews really do matter for podcasts. They really, really do.
Yeah.
You can say something.
Oh, I was gonna say you need to play Jurassic Park, The Lost World on the PlayStation and Sega Saturn. It's a really good game. It's probably one of the better Jurassic Park games.
There you go. Last thing. You can find me at Mind of Parker on Twitter, or you can follow the show's Twitter down below here at Dissect That Film. Also, actually, there is no also. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to you. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you all next week.